topic. We are into JavaScript. We are learning basics of JavaScript with ES6 format. So we'll talk about some more ES6 candidates today before we move on to the next topic. So yesterday I just moved to the yesterday's class notes. So yesterday we talked about functions. So how inner, outside, variable declaration inside the function, variable declaration outside the function. This function is actually ES5 operation. So it is an ES5 candidate. If you want to create a function and if it is returning a value, you can do it with ES6 operation as well. I'll just create one new file. I created a new file now. So before file JavaScript 3.js. So one is another mostly used candidate is dictionary object. Dictionary object is very much in use in the programming language. What is dictionary object we'll see. Then arrow operator. The arrow operator is more about functions and other things. So arrow functions they call it as. Second is this is arrow function is starts from ES6 candidate. It is a candidate of ES6. Then we'll see array operations. Some of the array operations like array I have n number of elements. How do I get the unique element? All those things we'll try to see from array elements. So first is let us understand dictionary object. So generally, before I go into dictionary object, we need to understand the JSON. So I hope you all understand what is JSON. JSON is a candidate which is used, which is equivalent to or replacement of an XML. Olden days, that was an XML. Later, as the technology improved, they moved it to the JSON concept. The JSON is the concept used precisely in all the REST API and other uh, today your Facebook, your WhatsApp, everybody deals with JSON behind the scene. So JSON is prepared in such a way. It is starts with curly braces. I'll just explain what JSON is. So say a equal to JSON always start with the curly braces, ends with the curly braces, and it is a key value pair. So I say key 1, value 1. Value 1, if it is a string, it has to be within quotes. If it is a variable, it can be defined as it is. So a key 1 colon is the value assigning the key 1 value 1. So that colon is the parameter which is key value pair is differentiated with the colon. It is added with the colon, comma, key 2 colon value 2. So key, you can stringify the key 2 as well. Otherwise, you can leave it as it is. So this is JSON data. The advantage of JSON data is I just put console log a dot key 1, comma, console dot a dot key 2. It is equivalent to dictionary, but I'm just putting it in console log a dot key 1, a dot key 2. That means I can jump from any of the key directly from A without iterating. Without iteration, I can go to any of the key. The number of keys I can give it within a JSON is unlimited. There is no limitation for the JSON. In XML, the same thing is called root node. Inside root node, you will have a tags, multiple tags, right? So I just save this now. I run it. Now you can see value 1, value 2. A dot key 1 is value 1. A dot key 2 is value 2. The same thing can be represented as A within square braces key 1. Quotes, within quotes. Key 1 has to be within quotes. Otherwise, it will treat it as a variable. A key 2. Key 2 has to be within quotes. So this is the one of the major advantage of JSON. So JSON, I can jump to any key. I can have n number of keys. I can jump to any key directly by knowing the key name. I don't have to, and it is fast, right? I just go. I'm explaining this because there is a dictionary object in JavaScript can be handled in multiple ways. So you can see here 2 times value 1 and value 2 are printed. So I just say just to differentiate. Run without debugging. You can see now array of key value 1, value 2. So here I am putting within quotes, so the key should not matter a lot. The same thing you can also deal with, right? Key. So the key value is very important. This is how you need to deal. The key is nothing but within quotes you need to give if you are giving it in the array format. If you are giving it in the dot format, dot key 1, dot key 2. You can have n number of keys and you can directly call any key directly. Now, this is JSON basic structure. JSON substructure or a slightly child or with child b equal to, let b equal to, I just say key equals, I can create one more JSON within it, not equal, sorry. All are assigned with quotes, semicolon. Right? Key, I can assign one more JSON here, sub key 1, colon, sub value 1. I can have a sub key 1, sub value 1, followed by sub key 2. This is called nested JSON, sub value 2, sub value 2. This is called nested JSON. One JSON inside another JSON. Right? That now the key is having one more JSON inside. I can have like this. I can create now key 2, colon. Right? I can have a value directly here. Value 2 directly here. Another key 3 or key n. Right? It can be a JSON. This JSON can have a further nested JSON. Key n, in that key, in that I can have a one more JSON. So sub key n, sub key n, colon, sub value n. So I can have like this JSON, inside one more JSON. Right? So I can have n number of things. So key value, that key is having another JSON. So here, I put it as sub key 1, sub key 2. That is also inside this also you can have one more value. You can build any number of layers. So that is the possibility with JSON. So understanding JSON is very important from the perspective of current trending language designs. Whether you are using PHP, whether you are using Python, whether you are using C Sharp, whether you are using .NET, right? Whether you are using Java, today's need is understanding JSON effectively. Without understanding JSON, it becomes difficult. Okay. So now having said that, now I want to put console log d dot, right? You can see the key 2, key n. So I put key dot sub key. I can use it like this. So key of sub key, directly I can go inside the sub key 2 or sub key 1, right? I can directly jump inside that. So you can create one more here, say value is hello. Value key, I use the word value key or sub key. Sub key n, right? Hello. So I can use that also here. So b dot n dot key dot sub key n, right? Dot sub key n. I can give it in this way directly nested. This is called nested. I'll just print for your example. I'll just print the before that sub key. I'll just print that as well. I just save this. So more exercise will be given towards this because this is very critical for you to understand. So more exercise they will plan in coming days towards this JSON side. JSON is understanding the JSON is very important. Then you can see here sub value 1 hello, that is hello, this is this 3l hello. Then I enter key sub key n I printed, that is nothing but a JSON candidate. So JSON, when you want to transport the data of JSON from one place to another place, you cannot transfer it directly. You need to do a stringification. So stringification is another concept when you use transportation of JSON. When you like to transport JSON data, then you need stringification. That is nothing but console log stringify JSON, all capital, JSON stringify. JSON stringify of B. B is my JSON candidate. I'm stringifying the entire JSON. I'm printing that as a console log. So before you transport in Angular material and all, it is default done by any of my post method or anything. He automatically does all this job. But you should understand when you are doing a transportation of JSON data, you need to stringify the JSON data. So save it first, run without debugging. This is how the value, stringified value will look like. You can see every key is also having now quotes. Every key value is quoted, right? This is called stringification. This is JSON operation. So I want to reverse the stringified data. So what I'll do is I'll just put it into a let C equals JSON of B. I want JSON.parse. Then see, parse is reverse of stringification. So stringify, sometimes it will work for anybody, but parse is very sensitive. Parse, if the syntax is wrong, parse will fail. If syntax is wrong, parse will fail. So I just run it again. Now you can see the way the structure is opened up. Debug available, cannot send variables. Okay. So he is not putting that in the right output, but this is a key to key n. Inside that there is an array object that is also being printed. Okay, I'll just try to do a debug. Let us see what it does. I'll just create a debug. I put a debug point, start debugging. Let us see what happens. Hello, value F11 or F10. F10. Now he says you will allow. So key, sub key 1, sub value. So key 2, like this. So you can do this in browser itself. Directly you can do it in the browser also. So for example, if I just do a right click here, empty browser, I just taken it. Right click here, I just copy paste that statement here. Browser supports JavaScript. In fact, I'll just put this, let this entire thing, let b equal to here, browser. B, now B, if I type, B you can see here. You can see the values here. What you see it in the debug mode, right? So key value to key to, so it can support any type of structure. It can have a parent, it can have a child. So this is first thing you need to understand. This JSON. Sometimes dictionary objects are used in this the A is equivalent to dictionary object, key value pair. That means there is no sub child. Directly, if you give a key value pair, this let A is acting as a dictionary object as well. Dictionary means key value pair. I have a key, the key cannot be duplicated, and value can be one value assigned to a key. So key cannot be duplicated as per dictionary is concerned. In JSON, they prefer you not to duplicate the keys. So key has to be unique. When I say key on that hierarchy, this is hierarchy level 1. This is level 1. Key 2, key n is level 1. Sub key 1 is level 2 of key. For key it is level 2. For key 2, there is no level 2. For key n, key is level 2. Right? So in that way. So the levels, the number of levels you can drill down is unlimited in JSON. This is the first replacement that came for XML. This JSON is the concept they brought in. So JSON can have any structure. JSON doesn't have a definite structure. JSON can have any structure, and JSON, the advantage of JSON is I can directly go to any key without going through the loop, right? Going through the iterative mode. I can directly go to any key provided I know the key value. So to be precise, I have managed this key for the, I use this JSON as a key dictionary structure, and I've gone to 10 million, 20 million records within that key value pair. 20 million unique keys. I've gone in one of NSE, National Stock Exchange was a project for this entire algorithm that you are all working with stock market. That is tested. We created a performance tool for that. For that, we are in need of a dictionary object. At that time, initially we used with a JSON. Later, when we go with the extent of 20 million or 10 million key value pair, we had a difficulty of speed. The speed at which, because we are talking about testing the product for 1 lakh messages per second. So that is the speed at which the testing tool has to work. Each message will be around 180 bytes or 300 bytes or 400 bytes of data. That is all comes in a part of TCP/IP. Those are all TCP/IP programming. Socket programming, we call it as. That's a very beautiful subject, socket programming. Older concept, but very effective concept. So there we used up to 20 node programming we did for that performing tool. So the key length has gone to the extent of 20 million and 10 million. At that time, we faced some problems with the speed. Because of that, we moved on to the actual dictionary object of, I just have to stop it. Yeah, I moved it to the actual dictionary object that is used. I used it as, that is called mapping. So let my map equal to new, these are all components of uh, ES6 component. My map equals new map. So this is typically acting as a dictionary object, but here this can be used in many ways. The value can be not literal value. Value can be a JSON. Value can be a normal string value. Value can be a stringified value. Value can be a any XML also, to be precise. So here the key value is like that. So my map dot set, this is my key value, set key value. So key can be unique one, key has to be unique here. Value can be a JSON or number. Say first is I'll give it as a string, set, right? Again set unique 2, I give it as a number. 3, I give it as a JSON. I give it as a JSON. So all these are acceptable, right? I just print my map. But you cannot expand it if you don't do a debugging. That's okay. So my map, I want to get some key. Then it is called my map dot get. Just give the key name, unique one. Only one get at a time. You cannot get multiple gets. One get at a time. Unique 2, unique 3. I just got taken all the 3 unique values. When I use this my map for 10 million records, I am able to retrieve the record, any record, with 20 microsecond. Whereas in my JSON, any record to retrieve for the size of 20 million and 10 million, my response size was 235 millisecond. So whereas when I use my map, instead of curly braces object, you be able to retrieve it in 20 microsecond. So all this plays an important role when you are dealing with some complex projects. In your day-to-day project, sometimes all this millisecond, microsecond doesn't matter. Right now you can see here, map 3. Oh, I put a get, but I have not consoled it. Okay, I do a console log. It has printed 22nd line, but it has not printed the other lines because I have not used the console log. So this, when to use what is the most important thing. Learning all is one thing. Learning all the features is one thing. When to use what, which one is efficient, is purely the experience that will teach you, right? That will teach you on that. So it will, you cannot see, generally people use the proverb, a comb is given to a person when he is bald. So that is the general trend that is happening. So I'll just start debugging it. You can see now it is debug. Okay, it is in debug mode. I'll just click on resume. I'll just a second. I'll just send a message and come back. Just a second. please. Important. Yeah. Okay. So you can now see here string 3, the value, key value 1, key value 2. Right? Map 3, map is having total content of 3. So that is nothing but size 3, unique 1, unique 2, unique 3. So all this. So this is how you will get the mapping. So mapping is actually a dictionary object. Mapping can be used in many ways, but you need to know the key value. Without key value, it is very difficult. Of course, you can do a iteration, etc., with a map as well. So I'm not getting into that now. So you can do iteration as well. You can get all the keys as part of arrays, and then you can iterate it through that key. All that is possible. Okay. Generally, this is not used for doing a search functionality. I want to know which is holding a value 1. No, this is not the right candidate for that. You know what is the key. You want to directly fetch the value of the key. You can use this. That is faster. That means you need to know the key. In such condition, you can use this. Okay. So next is, so this is map. Map is the again ES6 object. In Java, this is called dictionary object. Dictionary object is equivalent to that in Java. Dictionary object is a separate class in Java, right? So every programming language has a dictionary object. That is also equivalent. .NET also has the dictionary object. So every, because that's a most important component in any of the programming language dealing with dictionaries. Okay. So next important thing is, so now we learned about one JSON, second a map. So these two are, JSON is also can be used as a dictionary object provided you have a single key value pair. Map is also can be used as a JSON, that is dictionary object. So, but the speed at which JSON works with the volume of data increases, and the map, the way it works, there is a difference. Drastic difference is there. I'm talking about 20 microsecond versus 230 millisecond. So it's a huge difference, right? So performance wise, where is 20 microsecond, where is 230 millisecond. So it is huge. Okay, so having next important thing. So JSON, you will have more exercises to come. They will give more exercises towards JSON. So JSON has two important thing. One is JSON stringify, another is JSON parse. JSON stringify is used whenever you want to move the data from one place to another place, one system to another system, from one transport to another transport. JSON is generally stringified, right? Because JSON cannot be directly given. That is why JSON stringify is coming into picture. JSON stringify generally doesn't give any error. It will always, whatever you give, it will stringify. But JSON parse is sensitive. It expects the JSON format to be proper. If JSON format is not proper, parse will not work in a way it is expected to work. So that is very important to understand. So whenever you do a JSON parse, you are supposed to deal with try catch. Try catch is very important whenever you are dealing with JSON parsing. So whenever you are dealing with JSON parsing, it is important that you deal with parsing, deal with try catch, because it might create an exception. When the exception comes, when you are executing the script, if there is an exception, it will abruptly stop that script that point. It will not execute further. That line, it will get stopped. So some of the time, this is what you will see it in the web page or etc. Sometimes you may not get the fully loaded web page because the script has failed in between. So these are all the reasons for the code may not got executed fully. So catch block, console log, E. E is also everything here is a JSON object. Any E is also a JSON object. E dot message will give you the exact message of the error. If you put E, entire E, it will give you one JSON object, which line the error has come, all the details you will get here. I'll try to make a mistake here. In B, I'll try to make a mistake of seeing. Not do in that way. How do I make a mistake in JSON? I don't want error to come. I don't want error to come at the time of stringification, but I want the error to come at the time of parsing. How do I do that? Let me try this. Let me try. Control F else. Sub key value, I removed the string. So this might give an error, so I don't want that error to come. No, I have not used sub key too, so this will not give an error. Stringify B, let us see. Run without debugging. If there is an error, sub value is not defined, so you get an error. How do I create a bug? Sometimes suddenly nothing works for us. But it is a common thing that we get. We do make a lot of mistakes and we do get some error. I leave it to the exercise team to give you some error data so that you know that this JSON is wrong JSON. Right? I try to create some wrong JSON so that you can manage it, so that this farce is giving an exception and you get the try catch. Try catch is wherever you feel that there is a possibility of code might go through some error page, you can use try catch. The try catch, the advantage is you can block that particular code, the subsequent code can still run and complete the job. Right? How important, how it is dependent on this value is critical. If it is not dependent on that value, then you may not have the need for try catch. Okay, so it all depends on that. Okay, now I just run it again. It will work, of course. So it will work. There is no catch now. So parse is proper. So console log parse has happened. So the key value parse has happened. If I try to debug available, so we cannot do that anyway. This is how it is. So this is what basically JavaScript. JSON is very important component. Manipulating JSON, using JSON in different form, that is very critical. Next, we'll go into the arrow function. The function, we have written a function multiply, right? We did that yesterday. Instead, I can also use like this. Let mul equals data, the parameter. I want two data, a comma b, right? Arrow function return a into b. I can do it in this way also. Return a into b. So in this way also I can create a function. So console log mul bracket. You can see a any, b any. So 10 into 10, 10 comma 10. So this is also allowed. This is the recent way of structuring your functions. Instead of the function is removed, directly you are given the parameter, arrow function, curly braces, return value, or you want to do some operations, you can do inside that as well. So this multiplication will act as a return value as well as 10 by 10. You just give a value. So it will assign the value with, I'll just run it now. You can now see 100. 10 into 10, 100. Because it is returning 10, multiply is nothing but a function. But the way you have written is you can treat it as a variable. That variable is 10 by 10 you have assigned. It is returned that value. So instead of calling a function, you are directly assigning it to a multiplication variable. So this is another way of arrow function. This is how ES6, from ES6, this kind of functions are being written. This is called arrow functions. Right? These are all there. I have not touched upon asynchronous and synchronous still. That I'll come next once I touch the file system objects. Okay? So this is another important area that we all need to understand. So JSON is very critical. Map object is mostly used candidate in Java scripting language. Second, JSON parse is very sensitive. Try catch is beneficial. So you can use try catch in case when you are doing a pass, because there is a possibility that it can give an exception. When exception happens, the code, wherever the exception happened, the code breaks at that point. It will not execute further lines of code. It will not execute. So it will stop at that point. So because of that, you can have, it all depends on how the sensitivity, how dependent the data is to the subsequent lines. If every line is independent, everything does a different job, then putting a try catch in every important place is critical. If you know that it is a sequential activity, one after the other, I need to go, then try catch may not be important, because if code fails, you just want to fail it. Generally, the try catch is a very critical component in any of the language for that matter. Okay, I just take your questions before I hand it over to the team. Please, you can raise your questions, whatever you have. If you have any questions, you can. Where to use the square braces and square brace? Okay. One is normal braces, another is curly braces. Normal braces is whenever there is a parameter substitution, any of that is there, you use the normal braces. Functional call normal braces. Curly braces is used based on the syntax. It is the syntax decides that. In switch, we have seen one is normal braces, that is a parameter I as a parameter. Curly braces used because case 1 to case n has to be within that section of switch. Because of that, yesterday we used the curly braces after the switch element. So square braces, you can use it anywhere array. Whenever there is an array, index of an array, etc., when you want to take, then it is a square braces. Practice may enable you on all this. That is the easiest way, I can say. Why set? I don't know why set means. I don't know what it means. Which stores the value by key. Okay, okay. Set is which stores the value. Which is 230 millisecond JSON or map. JSON takes more time. Map is a very, as of now, my experience, I saw map is the most fastest candidate in fetching the value of a key. For I have tested up to 20 million records in that key. A dictionary is a data structure with insertion, deletion, and test for membership. The elements may be but are not necessarily composed of. Okay. Why try and catch? How to use? To handle exception. Yes. ES6 is the scripting language. So there is a standard followed. What is ES6? I'll put it in this way. ES6 is a ECMA script 6. This is where the standardization came into picture. So because JavaScript is the latest language, all the experience of Java, C Sharp, all these people put together and they made a standard. And so that if you follow a standard, it is very easy to adopt because we have different browsers. Everybody has to support the JavaScript. So it is not like I am in a Windows machine, so I cannot use the JavaScript. I cannot say that. Because of that, they brought in the standard. Yes, ECMA script 6 is 2015 year. They brought in this standard. That is the first standard came for a JavaScript. Before that, there was no standards. Anybody can create any way you want. Now you have a ECMA script 2021 as well, advanced version. That is the base version 6. This is where universally everybody accepted this. Okay. We are using JSON in JavaScript. What is the benefit? JSON is the data formatting. So it is nothing to do with JavaScript or any language for that matter. It is to be precise, JSON is today a transporting guide, right? You transport the data in JSON. All your REST API uses JSON. JSON is a data structure. It is a data structure. It is nothing to do with the language. It is a data structure. JSON is widely used in all languages now. Right? It is in anything else. If nothing is there, I will close my thing now. Rajesh, you can switch off the record.